Hello and welcome to the Core Finance Show, sponsored by Beaufort Securities. I'm joined by Matt Brown as an independent market strategist. How are you today, Matt?
Very well, thank you. Zak, yourself?
I'm fine. I'm just looking forward to all these company updates. There's going to be apparently 23 in 2 days or something. I'm noting down every single one.
Keeping us busy.
Yeah, that's right. Well, yes, in fact, there's so many you can actually have an excuse for not knowing any of them at all. But let's have a look at the headlines today. FTSE rebounds led higher by strong miners, so saved again by these resources plays.
Yep, resources stocks actually all doing very well, the likes of Anglo American, etc. Glencore pushing the market back up. We had a sell-off yesterday, tested some lows, but nice rebound today. I think we're up about 1% now.
So this is the usual buy the dip. You know, this is not rocket science, is it?
No, and the miners have been a little bit out of favour, but they've come back to the fore. So a good performance by them, and the bulls are back in town.
So gold approaching the key $1,260 level as well.
Mm-hmm. So. I mean that's a key level as well, I think, at the moment. But a lot of that's probably led by the fall in the dollar, and that's helping lift up a lot of the commodity prices.
Okay, so that's good news there. Looking at the FTSE 100, last week's close 74.53 over the last year, up 11%. Obviously helped by the referendum and result and Donald Trump. Over 3 years, the same result. Over 5 years, though, much better, up by a third. And so I suppose if you're a fund manager, that's your benchmark, isn't it?
That's a strong benchmark. It just goes to show, though, with equities, you've got to be in it. You have the only way is equity, as I had one fund manager say to me once, TOWIE he calls it. Really, with you look at the rise in inflation, and you're not going to get interest rates from a bank. You have to be in equities, and that seems to be the continuing theme. And the numbers speak for themselves. You've missed out if you've not been involved in, certainly over the past 10 to 5 years. It's a no-brainer.
The alternative is just working very hard.
Well, indeed, but what do you do with that? When you receive your wage, what do you do with it? You're not going to get rich from working, unfortunately. You have to make your money work for itself and invest.
Yeah, at the age of 50, I'm starting to realise that, actually. Thank you for that, Matt. Next up, we've got...
Calling the top of the market if you're coming in now. Right,
AIM stock to watch. Fevertree, which is just... it's just hit the ball out of the park. See, Fevertree cheers exceptional growth as sales soar 77% to 71.9 million. Who buys this stuff?
Well, it's a darling of the AIM market, and it goes to show the likes of Schweppes, etc. The other tonic makers have been asleep at the wheel, and Fevertree have come in. They've secured deals with the high-end hotels globally, certainly in the US. But the likes of Waitrose, etc., they've got on the shelves. It is the go-to tonic for the connoisseur, or the gin connoisseur, which I don't proclaim to be, but Fevertree are doing very well. And again, they could be primed for a takeover, and I think investors are looking at that. But in the meantime, the sales are growing and the profits are there, and it's a strong company, strong brand.
Okay, and we go on to... the pound, which has been the same level for the last 3 days, within like about 10 pips. So no change there, but towards the higher end of the range there against the dollar, and I suppose the higher end of the range there against the euro sterling.
Will it test the 90 level? I don't know. It's got a little way to go, but again, this is all dollar weakness that's certainly on cable that's driving this. But 130 is now a support level, potentially. Okay,
let's moving on to broker recommendations, a company which I'm obsessed by, because obviously as you can tell, I'm a very healthy, clean living sort of guy, and Domino's pizza, not quite the product for me. Interesting that we've had the results today, and Domino's profits boosted by chocolate pizza and new stores. CEO David Wild said innovations including the Lotta Choco pizza, a dough base with melted chocolate on top, had helped to support performance, and obviously waistlines as well.
Indeed. Well,
have you tried that?
I have no intentions of ever trying a chocolate pizza. The sound of it is horrific, but people are buying it, and maybe they do need to innovate. I mean, a pizza is a pizza, and to attract new customers, maybe that's what they need to do. But I mean, I'm sure the likes of Dominoes are looking over their shoulder at the things Uber Eats, Deliveroo. The supply market for takeaway is becoming quite
Well, the shares
busy.
the shares are down nearly 10%. Perhaps the chocolate pizza. I've just thought of this actually. Is they're actually shooting themselves in the foot because you're combining the main course and the pudding in one course. You need to buy one thing rather than two. So maybe they should get rid of that product.
Maybe.
Next up, we've got the core number, which is not, alas, my monthly salary, or maybe yours even, but it refers to the new trend in retail.
Yes, this number relates to over the past 5 years, 2,500 goods have reduced in size. Now, basically, this is shrinkflation, as it's being called. This is the Toblerone effect, where they've cut out the number of peaks in the chocolate bar because the underlying costs to manufacture the product have gone up, which may mean going forward smaller pizzas, smaller chocolate dessert pizzas. But it goes to show that the UK consumer is getting less for their buck or their pound, and that is certainly hitting households. They're not getting as many cornflakes or Toblerones or whatever, and it means it's more expensive to have the cost of living going forward.
Maybe, or I suppose that they've got to sort of eat less. It's sort of forcing to eat less. But I was concerned because I did see that even toilet roll has shrunk. So I'm not quite sure what the manifestations of that were going to be. That could be serious.
If you're eating less, maybe you need less toilet roll, but we won't go into that. But certainly the NHS or the health ministers would like to see a reduction in waistlines in the UK. And this may go some way to tackle obesity problem that we have in the UK.
Okay. Economic calendar, CBI Industrial Trends Survey obviously the UK, in the US, Housing Price Index and Consumer Confidence, which is both relatively important. And then we've got Andy Haldane, I think at 6 o'clock, a possible future governor of the Bank of England, at least in his mind. And in New Zealand, something will be both staying up for the trade balance, and then with the Australian market, 2:30 in the morning. For those with insomnia, the CPI figure will be out.
Yeah, a few things to look out for. I mean, CBI industrial trend is expected to be lower than expected. Probably won't see a great number there. We've had a good IFO number out from Germany this morning, which was better than expected. I'm looking at the consumer confidence due out at 3 o'clock. And the MPC speech at 6 o'clock. This could be interesting because he has previously been a dove, has indicated he may be hawkish towards the back end of this year. So that could, anything key coming out from that speech would move the pound.
Dissent, I think, is what any dissent with the company line at the Bank of England could be outstanding. But Matt Brown, independent market strategist, thank you very much for joining us today on the Core Finance Show, sponsored by Beaufort Securities.